Before working on any firearm, make sure the magazine is empty and removed. Also make sure the chamber is empty and the firearm is unloaded.
Hello folks, this is Sean again with WORKING on Armory. Today I'm going to show you the disassembly and reassembly of our tactical model. This tactical got some new feature, got a new set of grips that'll be on all of our guns here for 2013. It's a rubber grip with the island logo for the Rock Island Armory. They're a lot thinner than our standard smooth wood grips. Also, what's different about this gun, it's an option that's available, is it's Duracoated instead of Parkerized. So let's get started with the disassembly. First thing we need to do is ensure that the firearm is empty. All right, ensuring that the firearm is empty, we can now begin the disassembly. You're going to line up the half circle notch that's in between the N and the D in island to the back of the slide stop. Push the slide stop on the right hand side, pull the slide stop completely out. The slide stop completely out, we can set the frame aside for now. All right, next thing we're going to do is use our bushing wrench and remove the barrel and spring assembly. Okay, so you're going to push down on the spring cap, rotate the barrel bushing clockwise. All right, you notice how I let my thumb roll over to keep the spring compressed down. You gotta guys make sure you do that so you don't use the spring plug. Okay, the spring plug removed, we can now remove the spring and the guide rod. Once that's all removed, take your bushing wrench, rotate it back over clockwise, or excuse me, counterclockwise, and remove the barrel and the bushing. You set those aside. Okay, after we got the barrel and the spring assembly out, we can now work on the firing pin, stop, spring, and extractor. Okay, get yourself one of these little 1911 tools. I think we got these out of Brownells. They're like 20 bucks. Anybody that's into 1911s, this will make disassembly and reassembly a lot easier and keep from scratching up the gun. Okay, so we're going to press down on the firing pin, slide out the stop. I kept my thumb over the top to capture the firing pin for it doesn't go shooting off and you guys got to go digging through the garage to find it. All right, this gun is one of our display guns, so we have cut the firing pin on it. That's why it looks different. Okay, once we got the firing pin out, we can turn it upside down and get the spring out. All right, once those two things are out, this tool's got a little hook, got a little angle on it, and it's got a little notch inside that allows you to get into the extractor, and you can push down on the extractor, push down and away on the extractor to get it to clear the breech face. Once it's cleared the breech face, you then finish pushing out the extractor. Once the extractor's all the way out, you can go ahead and set the slide aside, and now we'll begin the disassembly of the frame. Okay, on the frame, the tactical model has an ambidextrous safety. To get the safeties off, what I use is a razor knife with a real thin blade. Make sure it's a good blade that's not going to break on you. To get them off, you got the safe mode and you got the fire mode. You need to put it about halfway in between the two. Then I take my razor blade and I get it in between the back of the ambi and pull up. That removes the left side. At that time you take out your plunger spring assembly. Make sure you don't lose that. Okay, next step is to remove the other side. You pull up and out. It's a little tight on this model because it is the Duracoat, so it makes the fitting a little tighter. Okay, once we got those out, what I do is I grasp the gun, put my thumb on the hammer, and pull the trigger and let that hammer come forward. That way you don't have tension on the mainspring where it's easier to get the mainspring pin out. Okay, once I got that down, we can now remove the mainspring housing pin. Once you have the pin out, we can set that aside. Then we can pull down on the mainspring housing a little bit and remove your grip safety. Once we got that done, we can now remove the mainspring completely from the firearm. Next step is to remove the sear pin. Once the sear pin is out, we can now begin to take out the hammer, sear, and disconnector. And to do that, you just take your punch, press on the pin a little bit, pin will start coming out, grab the pin, and out comes your hammer. The same thing on the sear. Sear pin, okay, and then get a little tap, and out comes your sear and disconnector. Once the sear and disconnector is out, the only two options you have left, the only two things you have to do is the mag catch and the trigger. Okay, to get the mag catch out, you depress the mag catch. All right, and you find the notch, then you rotate counterclockwise, and then your mag catch will come out. Mag catch is out, the trigger will now come completely out the back. And that is the disassembly of the 1911.